Wow, in their face like that. Oh.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells. The gallery
wow.
is to be cleared.
That's crazy. That's legendary. Legendary.
Chaotic and unprecedented scenes erupted in Parliament today as MPs voted on the controversial Treaty Principles Bill. The Speaker suspending Parliament after Te Pāti Māori and the public gallery interrupted the vote with a haka. It's now just past its first reading. This followed fiery and emotional scenes as politicians debated the bill for the first time. An MP even got kicked out while the labels liar, disgrace and KKK were hurled at the ACT Party. We begin tonight with senior political editor Benedict Collins.
Oh, that's how it started.
Parliament boiling over with...
Okay, that's how it started. So she's there. Look. Bro, look at the lady next to her smiling. Look at his face right here, man. He's so frustrated. He's so annoyed. Bro, he looks so irritated right now, man. This is a perfect example of what's going on right here, bro.
Parliament boiling over with rage.
And she ripped it.
The Speaker taking drastic action.
The House is suspended until the ringing of the bells.
But pressure had been building all afternoon.
Bro, respect level for the Māori done went up just times 1,000.
As the government's Treaty Principles Bill came before the House.
The bill does not extinguish any right, it does not take from anyone, it reinforces the rights of the treaty as universal.
David Seymour says the current approach to treaty principles isn't working.
What all of these principles have in common is that they afford Māori different rights from other New Zealanders.
But the rebuttal came fast and furious.
Shame, shame on you, David Seymour. Ngāti Rehia will be ashamed that one of their sons has come up with a political stunt that looks to divide the nation. How dare you, David Seymour? You should be ashamed of yourself, and you are a liar.
Apologise for that last statement.
No, I can't do that.
Going to have to ask the member to withdraw himself from the House for the rest of the afternoon.
Willie Jackson sin-binned, but unapologetic.
Is that regular? Bro, I like how they standing on what they standing on. Do they make people apologize in court?
I think he's a disgrace.
Back inside, the temperature was rising.
Are you here to hold on to power at any cost? Or are you here to do the right thing?
ACT are seen to be pulling the strings and running the country, like the KKK with a swipe card to the beehive.
The vote, the final straw.
Bro, if you notice, everybody on the Māori side is talking from they gut, bro. They all speaking very loudly.
New Zealand National.
49 votes in favour.
ACT New Zealand.
11 votes in favour.
New Zealand First.
8 votes in favour.
Sparking the haka.
She ripped the paper, bro.
Te Pāti Māori, unrepentant.
This is all that I know is to be Māori, and we didn't get the opportunity.
Hana, this lady right here, shout out to you. Shout out to you. This is legendary right here. This right here needs to go on a mural.
Votes in favour.
Sparking the haka.
This right here, bro. This going down in the history books right here. Rip the paper, bro.
Te Pāti Māori, unrepentant.
Legendary.
This is all that I know is to be Māori, and we didn't get the opportunity to challenge the bill as much as we would have liked to.
You can't have very good arguments if you have to do that. If you've got a good argument and you can persuade people, you don't need to get up in their face. I think particularly making gun gestures and saying kino, that's the kind of people we're dealing with.
Throughout it all, the Prime Minister was absent, heading overseas. It didn't go unnoticed.
Because there's a cowardly behaviour, there's absolutely no balls.
What do you say to people who think it's a bit cowardly that you're not here for the first reading today?
Look, APEC has been locked into the calendar. It's a really important event for New Zealand.
But with the hikoi on its way to Parliament, the Prime Minister will have plenty more music to face.
Suspended by the House, Benedict. What happens now to Hana Rafiti Maipi Clark?
Well, that's right. For kicking off that haka earlier on today, she has been suspended by the House, and she's also been disciplined by the Speaker, Jerry Brownlee, who said her behaviour amounted to misconduct, and he thought it was appallingly disrespectful. The Speaker's office told us she will also have her pay docked as part of that suspension, but judging from her reaction in my track just before, she'll probably take that as a badge of honour. But to give you a sense of how high emotions were running here at
like the real one's gonna respect that, bro, for sure. The real ones are going to respect what she did all the way. Come on, man. May the revolution begin.
So what does the bill actually propose? And crucially, what are some of the differences between it and the current treaty principles? Katie Bradford takes a look.
The concept of treaty principles was introduced in the Treaty of Waitangi Act 1975. Through the years, it has developed through various case law and pieces of legislation. Crucially, there are no principles that have been expressly defined or set out in law. That's what David Seymour says he is trying to do. Let's compare the current main three principles with the bill before Parliament. On partnership, the treaty created a relationship between Māori and the Crown, and both parties must act with the utmost good faith. The new Principle 1 states the government has full power to govern and Parliament has the full power to make laws in the best interests of everyone. The second current principle addresses participation. At present, the Crown is to provide tangata whenua with the opportunity to engage with the decision-making processes at all levels. Proposed Principle 2, the Crown recognises and respects and protects the rights hapu and iwi had when they signed Te Tiriti. Those rights differ from the rights everyone has only when they are specified in legislation, treaty settlements or other agreements with the Crown. Principle 3 addresses protection. The existing understanding is that the government prioritises the active protection of Māori interests, rights, taonga and rangatiratanga. The new proposed Principle 3 states everyone is equal before the law and entitled to equal protection and benefit without discrimination. Everyone is entitled to the equal enjoyment of the same human rights without discrimination. One of the major concerns from opponents of the bill is the absence of any mention of tino rangatiratanga, that loosely translates to Māori autonomy. The bill proposes to take those principles to a referendum for the public once passed, but it's a bill that looks doomed to never get to that stage.
Principle 1, the change of Principle 1 is probably the most one that's setting the fire in people's stomach, bro.
Now, even though it's doomed, what process does a bill go through to become law? Well, the first reading today is the first chance for politicians to debate the bill. As mentioned, today's vote passed. But remember, National and New Zealand First had promised support for the bill at this stage, enabling its progress to the next step, Select Committee. This stage is expected to take 6 months, with the public and other interest groups making submissions. It then goes back to the House for a second reading, more debate and another vote. This is where National and New Zealand First said they'll withdraw their support, so the Treaty Principles Bill dies here. Otherwise, the next stage is known as Committee of the House, when MPs consider the bill in more detail. It then goes back to the House for a third reading. This is the final debate and a vote to reject or pass the bill. If passed, it then has to be signed off by the Governor-General, the King's representative, to officially become law. And for more coverage of the bill and hikoi.
Okay, so we're going to see what she do. So this is the King's representative right here. So I didn't know that the Māori King actually was in the government like this.
King's representative to officially become law.
I thought the Māori King was just like an independent thing. The Māori, you know, they pick their king and that's what they do in their own time. But they literally making decisions. Even if this lady does not sign off on it, it still shouldn't go through, right? Because if I was Māori, I would have faith that this King representative is not going to sign it. Man, Māori, bro, shout out to y'all, man. Shout out to y'all. The passion, the energy, the putting your foot down, the everything. Hey, it's real, bro. It's real.